Alright guys, Dave my Max 6. We are back at the Dragon's Lair, and I have the great pleasure to have for the first time on the channel Seth Shaw, aka Big Slank. Seth, welcome to JayTV.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
It was a long time coming. We were supposed to do this interview months and months ago, guys. It didn't work out. Should we say why?
I didn't want to wear a mask, okay? I didn't want to wear a mask. It was leading into Tampa a year ago, and I was like, I'm not doing it. We'll wait till a later
And
date.
you know what, dude? I was sad we couldn't do the shoot, but I really respected you doing it because I'm on your side.
Right.
I told you, I said, listen, I really don't want to do it. And at the time, the gyms that allowed us to work out without the mask were very limited at the time. So you were like, I'm not doing it, and even though I was disappointed, I was actually proud for you to stand up for your right.
Right. I think this was going to be better anyway. I look a lot, like 30 pounds heavier than the last time, so I'm glad we did it now.
I think it's better for a first impression, absolutely. Yeah. So, Seth, I'm really glad to have you. First of all, let me ask you this. Why do you call yourself Big Slank?
Well, I don't call myself that. When I was 14 years old, I was really skinny and tall, and I was at my brother's baseball game, and a guy in the dugout was one of the kids' grandpas, and he was like, "You're so skinny, you look like a slanky." So they started calling me Slank, and they called me Big Slank. So I've been called that since I was 14 years old.
It doesn't really suit you now.
Yeah, not really.
You may have to change it.
Maybe. I like it. I'm just gonna roll with it.
So it's stuck. Okay, gotcha. So Seth, tell me a little bit about you. You actually were in the military before. I want to talk about that because you know Jay loves you guys. So tell me when you got in there and then how long you stayed.
Yeah, so I enlisted when I was in high school at 17. Then I was in the Air National Guard. So I went to basic training and came back, did the tech school. I was located at Rickenbacker Air Force Base in Columbus. I worked there full time from 2009 to 2016. I ended up getting out in 2018. And then started doing online coaching and all that other stuff, and then we moved out here a year ago.
Well, thank you for your services. Yeah. It was just the 4th of July. We appreciate what you did for the country. It's unbelievable.
For sure, thanks.
Awesome. So let's talk about bodybuilding. When did you get into bodybuilding and you first started training? How old were you? Did you actually start in the military? Because I know you guys train a lot in there.
Actually, no. I was like, they did so much running and stuff in the military. I was kind of like burnt out of the whole fitness stuff. And then when I came back from basic training, I started living with my grandma. You know how grandmas like to feed you, and she fattened me up a lot. And so my buddy from down the street, he ended up taking me to the gym in 2008 or something like that. And then he was in the natural bodybuilding scene and stuff. And so he ended up taking me to a show in 2009, and he was like, "Oh, you should do a bodybuilding show." So the next year, he ended up competing in the Cardinal Classic up in Youngstown, Ohio in 2010. I won the heavy novice, and then I just kept going. So this is year 11 now.
So how old were you then?
I think I was 21 when I first competed.
That's a good age.
Yeah.
Good age.
So.
And how much did you weigh when you first started competing?
Like 180.
Wow, so you were tall slank.
Yeah, I was slanking around.
How much do you weigh today? You look good.
270 something today. Yeah.
Wow, that's almost 100 pound a game.
Yeah, like 100 pounds. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So, how many shows did you do locally before you actually went for your pro card? And
oh man, so 2010 I did like 3 shows. I took 2011 off. I did 3 shows in 2012. 1 in 2013, 2 in 2014, took 15 off. Then I started doing the national level, so I did Junior USA, and then 2017 I won North Americans.
Okay, 2017. Okay.
Yeah, so 7 years of competing before I won my pro card.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were from Ohio?
Yeah, I'm from Washington Courthouse, Ohio. It's a very small town.
Okay.
And then I moved up to Columbus because that's where the base was.
And then when did you come to Vegas?
I moved to Vegas a year ago in June.
Oh, so it's fairly recent.
Yeah, so I've only lived here like a year and like a couple weeks.
Okay, so last year when we almost filmed, you had just got here.
Yeah, so I just got here, yeah.
Okay, awesome. How do you like Vegas?
I love it. I love it. The weather's so much better. The gyms are better.
New Mecca.
Yeah, the new Mecca, and just like being around just like other people with similar goals. Back there in Ohio, it wasn't like, it was just me and like a few other people. So here you got more people that's going to push you to be your best, you know. So that's why I like it out here a lot better.
So tell me a little bit about, I told you before we filmed this, I said, listen, since you've been training here along with me and everyone else, I've been keeping my eyes on you. And before we actually filmed last year, someone had told me he trains very differently, and I've been looking at you, I've been watching you this whole entire time, and I really appreciate how you work out, the discipline you're taking to it. You're doing a lot of things that are different from other bodybuilders. Talk to me a little bit about your philosophy about training and why you train this way.
So I worked with my best friend. His name's John Quint. He's real into just like the anatomy and stuff like that. And he actually teaches a class with Dr. Andre Spina up in Canada. It's called like functional range conditioning, functional range systems. So we're always doing a lot of joint training. That's why you see me do a lot of stuff with the rubber bands. I'll do pails and rails within like the joints. So you're like actually putting force into your joint to create more range of motion. So I do a lot of things like that on my off days. You see me here laying on the floor with my ball and stuff like that, doing passes ring lift-offs and all that stuff. So we do a lot of joint incorporating things within the training. So it's not just muscle building, it's actually bodybuilding. Yeah. So that's what I do a lot different than
not a lot of people train like that.
Right. So that's what I don't want to look like everybody else, you know. I want to look better.
Well, it's obviously working and stuff, but usually, you know, especially when you're big and when you're tall, people always tell you got to train heavy, and I understand that, but I also think past a certain age, as you start getting older, you can't really do that, so you got to find ways around.
So I mean, you know, everything's not linear, so it has to be dynamic. So you got to adjust your intensities, you have to adjust, you know, your exercises. So you have to wave things, just like you wave your food, you wave your cardio, wave your training. So all these things have to be waved. You can't just keep progressive overloading because it's not a linear system. So you have to pull back and push with all these things that you're doing.
I like it. So do you have your friend, are you doing all the workout yourself, or are you designing them yourself, or your friend sending to you?
My friend John, I pay him to do all my training and stuff. So we've been doing this program for about this is our 23rd week of doing stuff, yeah.
How long was this prep for the show? You're doing Chicago in 3 weeks, so how long was this prep?
I guess I started kind of back in January, February-ish, and then I started like really pushing a little bit more about the last like 8 weeks. I lose weight really fast, so like if you don't feed me,
I noticed you getting in shape that quickly.
Yeah, once I start pushing the cardio, I'll start getting in shape real fast, and I have to pull back just a little bit, and then I just use it for the fat burning. So I try to keep my heart rate in that zone 1, zone 2, the fat burning stage. If you go any more higher than that, you're just going to be burning up glycogen. So I try to keep a low intensity cardio for all my cardio.
I've noticed that, you know, as you work out, sometimes in between set you will do like 5 minutes of cardio. Why do you do that?
Yeah, so we just changed that this week. So that's something new that we're doing. So John's thing with this is just going to just help drive more nutrients into the cell. So we're just going to try to optimize fat burning these last couple weeks before the show. Okay. So usually I just do a lot of it post-workout, but he's kind of changed my training a little bit. We do a little more time sets, more higher rep stuff today than we usually do, like more 4 to 7 and 8 to 12 and stuff like that. Nice. So we just kind of changed up the train just a little bit these last couple of weeks.
It sounds interesting, and I'm sure it's a lot more fun to do something different every time. You know, I remember telling Jay when he would prep for the Olympia, I would see him doing the same workout over and over, and I would say, don't you get bored with the same workout? He says, I don't train for entertainment.
Right.
But I think when you do something different, it keeps you guessing and on your toes all the time.
Right. Just like I said, you gotta wave your exercises, and you gotta pull back and push your intensities and stuff like that too. So you can't just keep doing. Actually, like the law of accommodation is real. So if you keep pushing the same exercise and same weights, you actually get weaker and you actually go backwards in your lift. Mm-hmm. So that's why you have to do. If you do flat bench press for 3 or 4 weeks, then you notice you keep trying to go heavier, then you'll get weaker. So then you'll do either you need to add a band or a chain or switch the exercises. Mm-hmm. Just like with your food and stuff, you got to ramp up, then you got to pull back. So like you know, when you're dieting for a show and you're constantly pulling calories away, then your body kind of stalls, and you have to do a refeed, right? Yep. It's the same thing with your training. Yes. You got to wave it.
Talk to me a little bit about nutrition. So when you first got started, did you read a lot? How did you learn the ins and outs of dieting and training? I mean, who taught you? Did you go online? Did you watch magazines? What did you do?
My buddy that got me into working out, we used this app we didn't have apps back then. I used my desktop computer, and I got on this website called Fit Day, and we would just log all of our calories, but it wasn't called macro counting then. He's just like, just fit your numbers in. I'm like, okay. I remember eating like tuna wrapped in lettuce and like spaghetti noodles and all this like random things. Then I hired a trainer up in Columbus, and he had me eat like all the fish and asparagus stuff. And then I got
the hard way. Okay.
I got so grossed out I had to plug my nose to eat all my meals and stuff. And then I hired a couple different trainers along the way, and then I learned more and more. And so now I know like what works. I've been doing it for 11 years now, so I've kind of figured out what foods work for me, you know.
Who's helping you out for this prep? Can you say?
Yeah, Dom's helping me out these last couple
of weeks. Cardone?
Yeah.
Okay, that's recent.
Yeah, so It's been really good. I've only lost like maybe 5 pounds the past like 8 weeks or something with him. Yeah, so I think I've recomped a little bit more and maybe gained a little bit more size.
It's nice to have him locally also, so he can look at you every day. I know as soon as you get here at 1 o'clock, he's there to watch you do all your mandatory. We actually put that in there. You look great today.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have him here so you can actually make change on hands, right?
Yeah. Because sometimes like with pictures and stuff, you can't pick up like my lines, and plus I'm so tall. Everybody thinks, oh, you're doing classic. I'm like, guys, I'm like 270 plus pounds. I can't even make the classic weight if I tried. I would have to lose like 30 or 40 pounds from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's nice to see an open bodybuilder with a smaller waist though too. You know, I'm not just a big blob.
Like Dennis Wolf.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or Cedric McMillan. He looks good too. Yeah. So.
You look more like Dennis though.
all my comment sections on TikTok is like, is that your brother, Dennis Wolf's brother, or is that Dennis Wolf?
Yeah, you could be his younger brother.
Yeah, even my mom says, she's like, you do kind of look like that guy.
That's a compliment, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So you actually put on almost 30 pounds of stage weight compared to last year, right?
Yeah, I lost too much size with the whole COVID thing because I was supposed to compete in like May of last year, and I didn't end up competing until August. Right. And I started my diet last time in like December, so I dieted from December all the way to August, and it was just too much of a it was just too much of a diet. Like I get ready to compete, and then they cancel it, and then there was a show 3 weeks later. Then they cancel it, a show 3 weeks later, and then I was like,
what a mindfuck.
This is crazy, man. So I never like increased my food too much, and I think I just lost way too much weight, man. My legs went down, my conditioning wasn't that great. I think it was way too flat, but I got everything what I need right now. We're doing good.
Where were you training before Flex opened this place? What gym?
LVAC, I trained there a little bit, and I worked over at Fit Club a little bit.
Okay.
And then once this place opened up, I'm like,
what do you think of this place?
I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying here.
How do you like this place?
Oh, dude, I love it. It's awesome. I love the atmosphere. Everybody's got the same goal. So
the crew's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
30 afternoon crew is nice.
Yeah, everybody's here like 1:30 or 2:30. That's when everybody usually gets here. I try to get here at 1. Yeah.
So what do you want to do? So Chicago Pro, do you have any more stop after that, or what do you have planned?
We're gonna come back for a week, and then we're gonna go to Tampa.
Okay.
And then see how I do there. I don't know if I'll do the Texas one or not. I guess I'll just wait.
Wait about a year.
And just see how I do.
Yeah.
And then just figure it out from there.
Yeah. How old are you, Seth?
I just turned 32.
Your baby. That's great. That's a good age. Early 30s to like 36, 37, 38. Those are good years.
We got a couple more years to pack on a little bit more mass.
How much longer do you want to do this?
I don't know, man. I want to get into more things besides bodybuilding as the years go on. I've got my own little supplement thing going on. We've got that event at Bullfrog Nutrition and a couple.
Is that why you're going?
That's why I'm going back to Ohio. Okay. Jay's going to be there. Sister Nina's going to be there, and a bunch of other people. So I'm dropping that pre-workout there. So I want to get into that a little bit, and then I'm trying to get in. I've been in like contract like 8 times for these investment properties out here, but these big investors from California keep coming in with like these huge cash offers and beating me. So I'm trying to get into more of that stuff too, because I know bodybuilding is not going to be here forever. Yeah. So I want to try to get into some other things.
Setting yourself up for the future. That's smart.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you help people online or
I'd help people online. I don't do too many competitors. I like more lifestyle people, but I do some competitor stuff, and then I have a couple people that I train here at Dragon's Lair.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to either hire you to help them out, or if they want to know more about your supplement company coming out?
You can get on my Instagram. It's just Big Slank, or you can email me at sethshaw31@gmail.com. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Seth, I really appreciate you getting together shortly before your show. You look great. Thanks. And for being 3 weeks out, I think you're in a good spot right now. Yeah. Hopefully you don't lose too much more weight because you're just right there.
Yeah,
so.
I know we're there.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Right
yeah.
Excited?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So we're going to keep an eye out for this guy, Seth Shaw, a.k.a. Big Slank at the Chicago Pro. First time on JayTV, but not the last.
Not the last. We're coming.
Thanks for being here, and we're out.